Welcome to the Fire and Earth podcast with your hosts, Jason Mefford and Kathy Gruber. Fire and Earth, giving you the keys to unlock your limitless potential.
It's time for another episode of What's on Your Desk?
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Fire and Earth podcast. This is one of our special segments of What's on Your Desk. I am Kathy Gruber.
And I am Jason Mefford. And yeah, Kathy, we're going to do another What's on Your Desk? Or however we're doing that, right? We've got some
we don't know.
fancy thing for it. Anyway, so this is just one of those fun episodes where we just randomly grab a couple of things off of our desk and just talk about why we have it here and kind of tie in a little bit of a lesson for it. So, Kathy, ladies first, you want to go first?
Yes. So both of mine are about love. I don't know why. I just, it's nice to have memorabilia. And, we've talked about how, you've got Yoda and I've got Mr. Miyagi, and we've got things from, that clients have given us and things like that. This is purely about love. So this is a whole little display. So this sits on my desk. So this, I did a heart healthy lecture for American Heart Association, and it was on Valentine's Day. So I had everything at my booth for my speaking gig that said love and hearts, and this was a great little photo frame. And so before I had this phenomenal boyfriend who I get to stare at every day, the card says, life is short, break the rules, forgive quickly, kiss slowly, love truly, laugh uncontrollably, and never regret anything that makes you smile. So it's just one of those little messages of, appreciating what's around you, staying present, and making sure you have love in your life. So that is my What's on Your Desk, part one for me.
All right. Well, mine is not about love. I just grabbed two random things. But the first, we're just kind of random here. The first one is this little coffee cup.
Oh, how cute!
So it's got my face on it. If you're doing your exercise or something and you're not watching the video, it's actually the little logo tile for my Jamming with Jason podcast, which is another podcast that I do. But I, on the other side, it says Compliance Podcast Network, and then it has my thing on it. So it was around Christmas time. You end up getting like Christmas cards from random people wanting to sell you insurance or whatever else. But I get this pretty big box. I mean, it's like a bigger size box, and I look at it and I'm like, I wonder who this is from, right? And then I open it up, and in this big box is this little coffee cup.
Oh wow!
Right? But it's the reason why I'm sharing this is, so much of the time, I hate Christmas cards in general, only because I don't hate Christmas, but most of the time when we receive Christmas cards, it's like a stamped signature or something, like I said, from a business.
Yeah.
Nobody gave any thought to it. Some assistant just either literally like rubber stamped, or they get it printed with their signatures in it, and it gets sent out. No message, no nothing, right?
Right.
So when I got this, name's Tom Fox. Tom Fox runs the Compliance Podcast Network, which, is really exciting for people that are outside of compliance. Not really.
I can't wait.
No, yeah, you can't wait to go, right? But no, he curates a lot of different people's podcasts and runs them on his stuff too that relate to compliance. And so I've known him for a long time. He's like, hey, let me syndicate Jamming with Jason on our stuff too, right?
Yeah.
So, but the idea is it's a thoughtful gift, right? He actually made it for me. He made special ones like this for everybody who is on the network with him. And he shared a picture of all of them sitting out. But
that's so cool.
When you're going to give a gift or acknowledge or do something like that, try to make it thoughtful, because it means so much more when it's that way. And like I said, that's why I usually hate Christmas cards, because there's no thought in it. I'd rather have you send me light and love, right, through the spheres, than send me a Christmas card that you didn't even think about me for. So.
Yeah. Yours was so much deeper than mine.
Is there anything deeper than love, though? Come on.
No, that's true. Sometimes it's just about things that make you smile. Yeah. Cool. So my second one, also about love. And what's interesting is these are the two that are like the most forward on I have this sort of like modern version of a roll top desk. So there's all these, I've got the flat place where I put my computer, and then all these shelves with my very organized Capricorn. Each thing has its little slot. And then on top of the desk, I have all of my stuff. And these are the two things that are kind of the most forward. And this is actually very sweet. So this is my parents' wedding picture.
Oh, wow.
So that's both sets of grandparents, and my mom and dad getting married. So my mom died when I was 18. She had a slow moving but aggressive enough cancer that after about 9 years, she ended up dying. And my dad died, gosh, oh my God, I guess it'll be 3 years this year, which I can't even believe that. But I have a huge connection to ancestor, this idea that people, that we're standing on the shoulders of all those people that have come before us, even family. When we think about like the women's movement and all the women that pushed, and the gay rights, all the people that pushed, I think that way about family too. And knowing that I have the genes trickled down of all of these people, my dad's parents and my mom's parents. And I just occasionally look up and just kind of go, well, thinking about that history and where I came from, and how everything I am today on some level is a seed from all of those people. So I like to have that up there and think about it. And yeah, every morning at 8:12, I talk to my dad. So yeah, some of those nostalgic kind of.
No, well, that's great. And it's, too, because my mom was really into genealogy. And so she would tell me about, the different people. A lot of people had passed away before, so I didn't know them here. But those stories, and like you said, it's exactly that, right? We're standing on every little improvement, every little thing that each generation makes. Actually in my family, the kids, my siblings, were the first group to actually go to college.
Wow.
And only 2 out of 5 of us actually graduated from college, but we were the first generation to actually go to college, right? But it's like all of those, it's the build up to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
My dad and my mom were the first ones to graduate from high school.
Wow.
In their family. Everybody else, it was fourth grade, 8th grade, you're out because you're working the farm.
Yeah.
So it's nice to remember that. And I'm glad you get to talk to your dad every day.
Yeah, twice, 8:12, if I catch him. If I don't catch 8:12, I don't get to talk to him. I'm going to share something kind of weird and creepy, because why not? So my address growing up was 812. When the Pennsylvania lottery started, my dad started playing the lottery, and he's like, I don't know what number to play, birthdays and all that kind of thing. So he started playing 812. So that became sort of this like very iconic number. After he passed away, I noticed that every time I glanced at the clock, it was 812. The change that I was getting from the store was 812. I would push pause on the video I was watching, and there'd be 812 left. It was just starting to get weird. And I would have this very strong sense that he was here. So I was like, okay, well, every day, twice a day at 8:12, I get to talk to him. If I happen to see it, some days I miss him. 8:13, I'm like, ah. But the other morning, I looked at the clock and it was 8:12, and I just felt this like, not heaviness as in emotional, like negative thing, but just like this like presence. And I was like, okay, it's 8. Oh, hi. Okay, and I started doing something. I look up, it's still 8:12. I'm like, okay. Doing something, I look up, it's still 8:12. I'm like, it should be like 8:50 by now. How is it still 8:12? And then a Facebook memory popped up that it was the anniversary of my mom's passing. And I think it was my dad kind of going, did you remember? Hello, it's an important day. And I never remember the date. So when it popped up, I went, oh, that's why he was just sort of hovering about and going, hello. So, yeah.
Good story.
That was it. That was my story.
There's a lot to and the more that we tune into some of that stuff, right? Because there's no coincidences. Synchronicity is all around us all the time, and the more that we can tune in and try to figure out what it's trying to tell us, the better.
Yeah,
right.
And numbers are so powerful as symbols.
Numbers are a big way for us to be able to do that. So yeah, and if you're interested, maybe in the future we'll talk more about numerology or something. But yeah, there's plenty of stuff out there to find on the internet if you're interested about that. But there's a lot to numbers.
Yeah.
As well, a lot
cool.
more.
So your second desk.
All right, my second desk. So this is a new thing. Because actually this last weekend I went up to Joshua Tree National Park and went hiking, and it's one of those where, again, I'm trying to get more in tune with kind of what's going on and everything as well, right? And so I needed to get back out into nature. Embarrassingly enough, it's been kind of 2 years since I really have been out hiking and doing what I love to do that way. So just said, we're going out, we're doing it. So, we get done with the first day, 7-8 miles, killer uphill. It's like, I'm still out of shape, so I'm kind of dying. We find these, big rocks, and that's what Hayden, my wife's oldest son, is like, hey, let's go sit over there. It's like, we're already close to where we were thinking we were going to camp anyway. Let's just go sit down because we're both really sore. So we sit down. There's kind of this clearing area with like a little rock formation around it. So we're looking around trying to find a place off of the trail where we can set up camp, because it's all primitive camping. There's no camp space. So you've got to try to find a flat space far enough away from the trail, right? There's little rules that kind of go along with it. So we're walking around this rocked in area, and this is about 4:30. So the sun is starting to go down a little bit there, and I'm walking along, and there's a lot of different different colored rocks and other things that are out there. And so we're looking around trying to find this good space for us to be able to camp for the night. And my eye catches this twinkle of orange. And so again, out there, we're in the desert. There's lots of browns, there's lots of grays, there's lots of blacks. And I get this little twinkle of orange, and I kind of look over, and my eye is pulled over to this little twinkling orange on the ground. And so, okay, we're looking around there and decide, okay, well, we found a place on the other side of the trail where we ended up camping. And the next morning I got up, and I was just sitting kind of in silence, waking up for the day. And again, the image of the twinkling rock was coming back to me. So it was cold. I got up and walked around, for a little bit, trying to warm up. And where did I walk? I walked back to that same place again. And I said, okay, where's my twinkly rock? And found it. So here it is. I brought it. It is, I'm not exactly sure what it is. It looks kind of like some kind of a quartz, but it's like it's not a rose quartz. It's almost like an orangey kind of feel to it. So
that's so cool.
So it was speaking to me. And so again, I'm not advocating, we're not supposed to do this, National Park Service, don't come after me. You're not supposed to take stuff out, but it felt like that this little rock was calling to me for some reason. So
yeah,
it's now on my desk with me to remind me. So
I love that. Well, and it not only reminds you of that hike and that time with your family and that sort of escape away, that reconnection with nature, but it also reminds us to look for opportunities, and that there's symbols and reminders everywhere of things. And I love finding stuff like that in the environment, whether it's the perfect seashell or it's 8:12 again, or, it's like, I love the world's reminders to be present for a moment.
Well, I think that's good. So so the lesson too, right, is look for those reminders and just start paying attention to more of them.
Yeah.
As you're going through your life, don't be so busy that you're forgetting everything else. Stop and smell the roses, metaphorically, right?
I think that's what they say. Yeah. We'll go with plants and not animals this time.
Okay. All right. So that's what we got.
Cool. That sounds great. I can be reached at KathyGroover.com.
And I can be reached at JasonMefford.com. So go out, have a great rest of your week, and we'll catch you on the next episode of the Fire and Earth podcast. See ya.